This camera from Tapo of TP-Link has the features of an indoor and outdoor cameras. It has possibly all the new and old features that you could only imagine to be in one camera. And this is affordable. This is interesting. Join me as I examine this new IP security camera from Tapo. Please subscribe and click the notification bell. Okay, let's start with the introduction of the different parts of this camera. This is huge. Look at my hand. I can only hold about 3/4 of its body. The base diameter is 7.9 centimeters and the height is 11.2 centimeters. The camera head can only tilt up and down up to 149 degrees. The body can rotate in full, hence the viewing range of this camera is 360 degrees horizontal. Like in other motorized cameras of Tapo, if you let the camera or camera head goes up, you can see here the reset button just besides the card slot, and the card should be initialized on the Tapo app before using it. So we have to insert the card. Okay, that's it. At the top of the camera head is the system LED or the status indicator light. Then we have the lens here, which is already 4 megapixels. More on the lens later. Below the lens is the microphone. At the front, just below the camera head, is a push button for physical lens blocking. Once you push this lens, the lens will hide like this. I'll show more of it later. Then at the back is the speaker. Unlike Xiaomi that uses 5 volts as standard power supply for all of its cameras, Tapo uses different power voltage inputs for its various models. For example, the C320WS uses 9 volts while this camera uses 12 volts with a 3-meter cable. Tapo also uses 3.5mm jack for its power supply, so we cannot use the standard USB power charger. Adding C225 to Tapo app is done manually as the app is not automatically finding the device, although pairing with the app is a breeze. You'll be asked to format the micro SD card to start using the card for recording. And also, the app will ask you to update to the latest firmware which addresses some issues. Except for few modifications, the interface at the live viewing screen of the C225 is basically similar to other Tapo cameras. For the detailed walkthrough of the pairing, setup, and configuration of this camera, please check my upcoming tutorial video in a few days. In this video, I am focusing on the features and performance of the C225. The Tapo C225 was first released in Europe a few months ago. In the Philippines, it's being sold under 3,000 pesos or under $50 US, the usual price of Tapo's latest cameras. Since the camera lens has 4 megapixels, the C225 delivers quad high-definition 2K video. It also uses a large aperture of 1.6, allowing more lights to enter the lens. However, the image sensor is only 1/3 inches smaller than the latest Tapo camera, which is the C320WB that has 1/1.79 inches. As I've said in the beginning of this video, the C225 looks like an all-in-one camera because of its features that are both for indoor and outdoor. However, this is for indoor use as it has no protection against the weather outside. Temporarily, I placed the C225 as close as possible to the C320WS but under the canopy of my front door to protect it from rains. Both cameras have similar 4 megapixel lens and quad HD video, but the C225 has a very large aperture of 1.6 while 2.2 for C320WS. Again, the larger the aperture, the more light comes into the lens of the camera. One interesting feature of the C225 camera is its night vision. Tapo had been using in the past 850 nanometer IR sensor for its earlier cameras. This sensor is visible on the camera, but its range is longer. Thus, it can still see images at a distance. So this is good for outdoors. For this choice, you can select far under night vision distance. Now, Tapo is using two IR sensors on C225. Aside from the 850 nm, it also has the 940 nanometer, which produces clear images in short range monitoring and doesn't produces the red color of the sensor. So you can choose close, and this is best for monitoring babies or pets at night since it cannot distract because there's no red light on the sensors. For night mode, this is the C225. It's changed to C320WS. I'll change this to night mode also. Look at that. Okay, so what's the difference? Let's see. C225. Okay, it can see even at far. I think there's no difference. It's almost the same. Both are using the 850 nanometer of IR. Remember, we can set night or day mode at the viewing screen of the app. Here, the night mode setting has some options using infrared sensors or the starlight mode. If you're using the infrared mode, only black and white images are captured at night, while on starlight mode, it has higher quality images even in low light conditions. So infrared mode is not good, especially if there are intruders, because you could not tell the color of the clothes of the person. So even if you are setting your camera at night mode, but you are setting the night mode settings on starlight mode, then you can still get the colored images, unlike other cameras that it's only the IR or the infrared sensors that is working.
Okay, so this is day mode. Kita natin sa setting natin dito, naka-day mode siya. If we put that in auto, this is what the auto looks like. It changes to the night vision or starlight mode. Check natin yung night mode settings natin. Naka-starlight mode siya. Transfer natin to infrared. Tingnan natin kung ano ang diferensya. Balik muna tayo sa day mode. Okay, then we go to night mode using infrared yan. So, wala naman masyadong diferensya. That's the infrared. Then, transfer natin to starlight mode. Sabi sa sample dito, color siya. Tingnan niyo yung pictures niya. Pero, ganun pa rin. Pareho lang naman sa infrared. Walang diferensya. It's the same. There's no difference between starlight mode and infrared mode.
The image from C225 is clear. However, there are portions here that somewhat like it's overexposure. You can see there the reflection of the light from the lampshade. In the actual scene, it's not that shiny. This area has a little illumination. There's a lamp on the table and also on the side, and some reflections of other lights, but it's not really well lit. But the shots from C225 is clear, and this is what the area looks like using my Samsung Note 20 Ultra. It's not so bright like the ones taken by C225. During daytime, this is the image, and if you compare that with the Xiaomi C400, the Xiaomi C400 is having a deeper contrast. That's why the cabinet, the shoe cabinet there looks very brown, and also the screen door is also too dark. But if you check the C225 of Tapo, it's nice. It's more light. It's more brighter. Look at the Kulma, the red there. It's too red. If you compare that with Xiaomi, it's also red, but Xiaomi seems like it's lacking some light. It's almost high noon now, and there's no more rain, so I can get better images right now. So this is the C225. If you compare that with the C320WS, the latter, or the C320WS, has a wider field of view. Look at the doghouse there, and this is what the C225 can only get. Okay, so you can notice the doghouse is shown a little bit. When it comes to color, looks like the color of the C225 is lighter compared to C320WS. This is because the C225 has more light. Okay, it has a larger aperture of 1.6, a very large aperture, while the C320WS has only 2.2. So it has it limits the amount of light that enters into the lens. That's why you can get a better color than the C225. The zoom image of the C225. So let's try if it can read these letters here up to its maximum. This is already its maximum zoom in. So it can read 2023 September, the 26 years of great love. The praise of great could no longer be read. Then under 26, the line is pushing for innovative and quality products. Okay, so that's about 3 meters from the camera. Then let's move to about 5 meters. Let's try to check if it can read. This is 5 meters. Beside the logo, it says there, Office of the Mayor. The text on the image is not readable. Then we go to about 7 meters. I have here a favorite frame of mine. This is the maximum. Okay. Life is like, it can be read, but the next line there under the first line is no longer readable. That is, life is like riding a bicycle. Then the one at the center is to keep your balance. So the next line is you must keep them. Then the last line, which is readable on the screen, that's moving. So life is like riding a bicycle. To keep your balance, you must keep moving. Okay, so that's about 7 meters. The camera can reach even up to under the location of the camera in my canopy. So literally, it can reach my doorstep. On the other hand, it can also reach the ceiling of the canopy if you tilt up. Usually, streaming or recording on Tapo cameras is only at 15 frames per second, but here in C225, you can also set the frame rate at 20 FPS and 25 frames per second, which is good. The higher FPS, the better, to reduce erratic movements. Another interesting feature, although it's not new, is the physical privacy mode. This is similar to Xiaomi Toki Pro's physical lens blocking. So privacy mode is active now. streaming and recording functions are disabled to protect your privacy. Okay, now if you want to exit this the privacy mode, if you press the button on the camera moves. Okay, aside from privacy mode, Tapo cameras can block customizable zones from being recorded. But unlike the privacy mode, the camera can still see in privacy zones. You can just mark portions of an area which you don't want to be seen by the camera. You can add up to 4 privacy zones actually. If you want to save this, tap the check icon at the upper right corner, and you can see there the privacy zones are blackened on the screen. So this is intended for blocking some portions of your house or area that you don't want to be seen on the camera. So I originally set the privacy zone on my neighbor's yard because I'll be intruding their own property. So I blackened the area of my neighbor, which is just adjacent to my house, and look at the result afterwards. Let's say I'll turn on the privacy zone, so that's turned on already, and look at that. Okay, it appears on any screen view, unlike the other Tapo camera models before, that the privacy zone is only in the area designated by you as privacy zone, so it doesn't appear in other camera view. But look at this. So it's this is erroneous. Line crossing detection was originally found only in outdoor camera of Tapo, but C225 has also this feature. I'm not using this feature because it looks similar to motion and person detection. It's an intended redundancy actually. I purposely put the line crossing in my staircase so that I could be alerted whenever people is going up or down. If you check the notifications here, there are so many line crossing detection. At 9:28 I was in the kitchen, at 9:16 I was in the kitchen, at 9:12, 9:06. So these are areas that are not within the line crossing. So I think the line crossing is, aside from it is based on motion detection, it's only on the screen, not on the actual space. Under detection alerts are several settings which we can toggle on and off. I would suggest to just turn off the motion detection like what I'm doing here, because if you place this camera in areas where there are several movements like branches of trees or several people moving, then you will get a lot of notification. However, you can minimize notification for motion detection by unchecking motion under activity type in activity notifications. So you can uncheck motion detection here if you don't want detection. But if you really need to turn on motion detection, you can limit the detection in certain areas, which is called the activity zone. However, there are times that the activity zone is not really working because the camera can still detect motion in other areas outside of the where you only want motion can be detected. For example, I'm going to adjust. I only want detection in this area. So this is the opposite of the privacy zones, where zones are off limits. Here, the zones are the areas where the camera can only detect motion. Tapo has added more detection on its artificial intelligence. Aside from person detection and baby crying detection, it can now detect pets, even dog barking and cat meows, vehicle sounds, and glass break detection. However, except for motion, person, and baby crying detections, all latest additions to its AI detection are still in beta stage, while gesture and emotion detections are coming. Here are some that my C225 has recorded. On my notification bar, you can read here, person detected, then dog barks detected. So we'll check this one. Let's see the recording. Okay, so the dog barking, the sound of the dog barking came from outside. And further down, you can also check here other instances when there were dog barkings detected by the camera. So the barking detection is real. This one. Let's check if the other detections, the other AI detections will also be triggered. I'm going to play music or sound effects from YouTube.
Car.
However, in one of my previous tests, baby crying sound from YouTube was detected. My notification bar, here's a notification here, baby crying detected. That was 5:28 this afternoon. So let's check this one. We'll see. I think it really works. So the vehicle detection is working. The vehicle detection only works when the camera sees the actual vehicle. Unlike baby crying, it's not using sounds for vehicle detection. Pet detection is also working. However, there's at least an instance of false pet detection. Looking at the playback and the timeline here, you can see so many pet detections here because there's a dog at least in my house, inside my house. Now, one thing I've noticed here is this last one, pet detection at 6 o'clock in the morning. If you play that, that's my son wearing a helmet, a motorcycle helmet, and he was detected as pet. So if you're wearing a helmet, you won't be recognized as a person. You will be recognized as a pet. Here, it says here pet detection, but look at the screen. There's no pet. There's no pet, but there was a flying moth. I think. So again, the detection is not perfect. In fact, this is far from perfect. I think the pet detection is based on still motion detection. Another new for Tapo is detection tag. Detected events like person detection is highlighted by a frame. This is similar to smart frame of Xiaomi's magnetic camera. Although you can put tag label here like person so you can see their person. Tapo says its smart motion tracking feature tracks and follows a subject, keeping it within the camera's field of view. But take note, it tracks motion of a subject, not human tracking. The problem with the camera, if you put this outside, then it's raining, it keeps on moving. So it may shorten the life of your motor if these things are keep going. The cruise control is now upgraded and renamed to camera patrolling. Aside from manually activating the vertical and horizontal camera patrolling, you can also automate and run it the whole time. So we'll try. If we press the vertical patrol, the camera will move up, or it tilts up to the last, up to the end, or to the default. Although camera patrolling is not new to Tapo C225, but this patrol mode is new. You can automatically set the camera to move up and down or left to right continuously according to marked positions. But here's a warning, non-stop patrolling may affect the motor life of the camera. To start the patrol mode, you have to add mark first, at least 2 positions. On the viewing page, it says here, patrol mode is on. You have the option to turn it off. So you cannot use pan and tilt if your patrol mode is on, because in patrol mode is on, it keeps on moving. So here I'm setting the tilting from here to up, and it will stay on an area on a marked position for 1 minute. That's why it's moving now. Then it will stay here for 1 minute. After 1 minute, it again tilts down to the other marked position. This is actually needed in an outdoor setting. If you want to scan the area, then you can turn on the patrol mode. But if you tap the pan and tilt, the patrol mode will be turned off. There's a new tab here which is still under beta, meaning under testing or study. Here you can choose the range your camera can pan left or right. So this is panoramic path. But I find this as redundant, and you actually don't need this because you have some markings already. Let's say when you say 360 degrees, then your camera will pan 360 degrees. Okay, it says here, do you want to save this pano to the camera memory? Let's say yes. Or it says here, tap or swipe the rectangle to control your camera to move horizontally. Okay, so you can, let's say, okay, so what's the purpose of this feature? Okay, this is a redundant feature actually. Like in older Tapo cameras, the C225 has also camera alarm. Camera alarm is good, but in the long run it becomes annoying because it goes off according to your detection settings. Although Tapo has improved the camera alarm, as I've said, the alarm goes off according to your detected event settings. So better choose appropriately here and also set the time for alarm. So just heard the alarm in the background. I'm turning on the camera alarm, and take note that the motion detection is off. I turn it off purposely. Now check the camera. I'll be moving and look at the camera if it's also moving. It moves, but the camera alarm is not detecting, or it's not triggering. Okay, now I'm going to turn on the motion detection, and you see, it seems like the camera alarm is dependent on the motion. See that? I'll turn off the motion detection this time, and let's observe. I'm moving, and the camera is moving too. The camera alarm did not respond. Camera tampering is a regular feature of Tapo cameras. which alerts us if someone is stealing or removing our camera or blocking the camera. The sensitivity can be set to low, normal, or high. For activity notifications, I would highly recommend you to choose appropriately the activity type. Otherwise, you will be flooded with all types of notifications. Uncheck here those you are not needing and customize the time that you are only going to receive notifications. If you have enjoyed the free trial or have subscribed to Tapo Care, then you can receive notification with snapshot on that particular detected events. So when this rich notifications is enabled, the camera will send notification with snapshots when it sees a person or an object, instantly review the related video clip to know exactly what is happening. So you can see the photo of that particular detected events.
The microphone of the C225 is good, the sound is clear. This is an improvement of the audio quality for Tapo camera.
Like most IP cameras, recording can be continuous by setting loop recording. The oldest recorded video will be overwritten as soon as storage is not enough for new recording. You can set record all the time or just record detected events. I would advise continuous recording so that you won't miss anything. If you are subscribed to Tapo Care, you have extra storage for detected events. The C225 is still using the crowded 2.4 GHz Wi-Fi channel. While it has some features for outdoor camera, it is weird that this is for indoor use only. It has no IP ratings. Some of its features are redundant and has no practical applications. The design of this camera is very Chinese tech, full of whatsoever features. However, I still like this camera. You can do a lot of things with this camera under various circumstances. Support this channel by subscribing. Daghang salamat, ako si Jun Tariman. High Tech, bye.